Level 1. You are 24 years old. You are standing in a hotel conference room with a stack of business cards in your pocket, and you are doing the thing everyone told you to do, which is not working. It's a Wednesday evening, an industry mixer, the kind with a name tag and a cash bar, and 100 people pretending the small talk is not excruciating. You have a goal tonight, which is to meet useful people, and you are executing it the way you were taught, moving through the room, introducing yourself, handing out cards, collecting cards, asking each person what they do, and quietly calculating, in the first 10 seconds, whether they can do anything for you. By the end of the night, you have given out 20 cards and collected 15, and you will go home feeling like you accomplished something, and not one of those 15 people will ever matter to your life, and you will not understand why. Across the room, there is a man your age named Kevin, doing exactly what you are doing, working the room with the same hungry efficiency, and the two of you are, without knowing it, demonstrating the single most common mistake in all of networking. And in the corner, surrounded by people who came to her, is an older woman named Janet, who has not handed anyone a card all night, who is doing something you cannot yet name, and who is the actual center of gravity in a room you are scurrying around the edges of. You notice her. You do not understand her. You go back to handing out cards. This is the first thing nobody tells you about networking. The first thing is that the kind of networking almost everyone does, the kind built on collecting contacts and asking what people can do for you, does not work, and most people do it their entire lives without ever realizing it is the reason their network never produces anything. The transaction is visible. People can feel, in the first few seconds, when they are being assessed for their usefulness, when the handshake is really a calculation, and the feeling makes them quietly close. You cannot extract your way into a relationship. You cannot collect your way into a network. And the tragedy is that this level, the taking level, feels like the most active and aggressive form of networking, which is exactly why so many people mistake it for the right one and stay here forever. You leave with a pocket full of cards. You will email a few of them. None of them will email back, and you will tell yourself networking just does not work, which is the thing people at this level always tell themselves. The verb at level 1 is take. You take, working the room for what you can extract and wondering why nothing grows from it. Taking at this level means treating people as resources and being felt doing it, and learning, eventually, that the most common form of networking is also the one that fails. Level 2. You are 27. You have stopped trying to meet everyone at once, and you have started, instead, simply showing up. It's another Wednesday, another event, the same circuit you have been working for 3 years, except that something has shifted, which is that people have started to recognize you. You are no longer the stranger handing out cards. You are a familiar face, the person who is always at these things, and familiarity, you are discovering, does something that aggressive introductions never could. People nod when you arrive. A few know your name. You have not done anything clever. You have just kept appearing, week after week, in the same rooms, until your presence became a fact that people stopped questioning, and being a known quantity, even a minor one, has quietly opened doors that all your hustling never did. Kevin is still here too, still working the room the way you both used to, still treating every event like a fresh hunt, and you have started to notice that Kevin, despite all his effort, is not getting anywhere, because Kevin resets to 0 every time, meeting strangers as strangers, never staying anywhere long enough to become familiar. You, by contrast, are becoming part of the furniture, and part of the furniture turns out to be a powerful thing to be. Janet, the woman from the corner, knows your name now. She does not know much about you yet, but she has registered that you are someone who keeps showing up, and showing up, you are learning, is the price of admission to everything that comes next. This is the second thing nobody tells you about networking. The second thing is that presence beats persuasion, and the simple act of showing up consistently in the same rooms does more for your network than any introduction technique ever will. Trust is built by repetition, by familiarity, by the slow accumulation of a face that people have seen enough times to feel comfortable with, and none of that can be rushed or faked or compressed into a single great conversation. The person who attends one event and works it hard gets nothing. The person who attends every event for 2 years and barely works them at all becomes a fixture, and fixtures get opportunities, because people do business with the familiar long before they do business with the impressive. You stay until the end. You help stack a few chairs. You are becoming, slowly and without trying very hard, someone the room knows, and that is worth more than every card you ever handed out. The verb at level 2 is appear. You appear, showing up so consistently that familiarity does the work introductions never could. Appearing at this level means trading the single hard pitch for the slow power of being a known face, and learning that presence, repeated, is its own kind of credential. Level 3. You are 31. You have discovered the move that almost no one makes, the one that changes everything, which is to give before you ever ask. It's a Thursday, and you have just spent 20 minutes helping someone you barely know solve a problem that had nothing to do with you, making an introduction for them, sharing something you knew that they needed, expecting nothing in return, and as you walk away you understand that you have finally learned the secret that separates the people whose networks grow from the people whose networks stall. You have flipped the polarity. For years you approached every interaction asking, silently, what can this person do for me? Now you approach asking what you can do for them. And the difference is not moral, it is mechanical, because giving creates something that taking never can, which is a relationship the other person actually wants to maintain. You watch what it does. The person you helped remembers you, warmly, and mentions you to someone else, warmly, and that someone reaches out, and a thing you did for free, expecting nothing, has quietly produced more opportunity than a decade of asking ever did. Kevin, still extracting, still leading with the ask, cannot understand why your network is suddenly compounding while his stays flat, and you could explain it to him in one sentence, that he is still taking and you have started giving, but he would not believe you, because the giving move feels backwards to everyone who has not seen it work. Janet, you now realize, has been doing this the entire time. The reason people surrounded her in that corner years ago is that every one of them had been helped by her and was waiting, gladly, for the chance to help her back. This is the third thing nobody tells you about networking. The third thing is that givers build the strongest networks in the world, and the entire game flips the moment you stop asking what you can get and start asking what you can offer, because value freely given is the only thing that creates real obligation and genuine warmth at the same time. The taker makes people defensive. The giver makes people loyal. And the giver is playing a longer and far more powerful game, planting value across dozens of relationships and trusting that a portion of it will return, multiplied, at moments they cannot predict, which it reliably does, because human beings are wired to repay the people who helped them before they had to. You go home having gained nothing today, on paper. You have actually just done the most valuable networking of your life, which produced nothing you can see and everything that matters. The verb at level 3 is give. You give first, freely, flipping networking from extraction into generosity. Giving at this level means leading with value instead of need, and discovering that the favors you do for nothing are the only ones that ever come back. Level 4. You are 36. You have stopped thinking about what you can get from your network and started thinking about what your network can do for each other. And in doing so, you have become something powerful, which is a connector. It's a Tuesday, and you spend part of your morning doing something that benefits you not at all, directly, which is introducing two people in your network who should know each other, because you can see, the way you have learned to see, that one has exactly what the other needs. You do this constantly now. You have become the person who knows everyone, the hub through which introductions flow, and you have discovered that connecting other people is the single highest leverage activity in all of networking, because every successful introduction you make earns you the gratitude of two people at once and the reputation, slowly, as the person who makes good things happen. You have realized that a connector occupies a structural position of enormous quiet power. You are no longer a node in the network, one person among many. You are becoming the connective tissue itself, the point through which value passes, and the more introductions you make, the more central you become, until people start coming to you not for what you personally can give them, but for who you can connect them to. Kevin, still collecting cards, has a list of contacts. You have something completely different, which is a web of people who owe their connections to each other to you. And that web is worth more than any list could ever be. Janet built her entire position this way, and you finally understand that she was never the most impressive person in any of those rooms. She was the most connected, and connected beats impressive every single time. This is the fourth thing nobody tells you about networking. The fourth thing is that the highest value you can provide is not your own knowledge or your own help, but your ability to connect other people to each other. And the connector quietly becomes the most powerful person in any network. A contact is worth a little. A connection between two contacts is worth far more. And the person who creates those connections accumulates a kind of relational capital that compounds faster than anything an individual could build alone. You stop trying to be useful to people one at a time and start being the person who makes everyone around you more useful to each other. And that role, the connector, is where networking stops being something you do and starts being something you are. You make 3 introductions before lunch. None of them help you today. All of them make you, a little more, the center of everything. The verb at level 4 is connect. You connect, linking the people in your network to each other and becoming the tissue that holds it together. Connecting at this level means trading the role of contact for the role of hub, and learning that the person who joins others together becomes more central than any of them. Level 5. You are 42. Your name has started to travel into rooms you are not in, and people you have never met have begun to want to meet you. It's a Monday, and you get an email from a stranger, a warm one, saying that several people whose judgment they trust have told them you are someone worth knowing, and could they buy you a coffee? This happens regularly now, and the first time it happened it startled you, because it meant that something had crossed a threshold, that your reputation had detached from your physical presence and started doing the work of networking on your behalf, in conversations you would never hear, recommending you to people you would never have reached. You did not build this reputation by trying to build a reputation. You built it by giving and connecting, for years, until the cumulative weight of all those helped people became a thing that preceded you into every room. This is the level where networking begins to run itself. The givers you helped at level 3 and the people you connected at level 4 have become, without any further effort from you, a distributed sales force for your name, mentioning you in rooms, recommending you for things, vouching for you to people who then arrive already trusting you. Kevin, decades into a career of aggressive contact collection, is still introducing himself from scratch every time, still a stranger in every new room, while you walk into rooms where people already know who you are and are glad you came. The difference between you is not talent and it is not luck. It is that you spent 15 years building a reputation as someone worth knowing, and reputation, once built, is the most efficient networker that has ever existed. This is the 5th thing nobody tells you about networking. The 5th thing is that the goal of all the giving and connecting is to build a reputation that networks for you, because a name that travels does more in a year than you could do in a decade of handshakes. Your reputation goes where you cannot, into rooms you will never enter, vouched for by people you helped long ago, and it arrives before you do and argues your case in your absence. This is the point at which the effort you put in years ago begins to pay continuous dividends, where past generosity compounds into present opportunity, and where you finally stop chasing the network because the network has started, quietly, to chase you. You accept the coffee. The stranger arrives already trusting you, because 3 people they respect told them to. You did nothing to earn this today. You earned it over 15 years of giving, and now it simply arrives. The verb at level 5 is build. You build a reputation that travels into rooms without you and recommends you in your absence. Building at this level means converting years of generosity into a name that does the networking for you, and learning that the work you did long ago is what opens the doors today. Level 6. You are 49. You no longer go to the network. The network comes to you. It's a Wednesday, and your calendar is full of people who requested time with you, not the other way around. And you realize, looking at it, that you cannot remember the last time you asked a stranger for a meeting because you no longer have to. People seek you out now. They want your advice, your introduction, your attention, your involvement, and the dynamic of your entire professional life has inverted from a young man scurrying around the edge of a room, handing out cards to a person other people arrange their schedules to sit across from. You have become a destination. And the strangest part is how little you do to maintain it, because the gravity, once built, sustains itself. You have arrived at the place every networker is secretly trying to reach, which is the place where you stop networking entirely, because networking, properly understood, was always just the work of becoming someone worth seeking out, and you have become that person. Kevin is still at the mixers, still hunting, 30 years in, a cautionary tale you think about sometimes with a strange tenderness, because Kevin worked so hard at networking and never understood that the hustle itself was the thing holding him at level 1. You stopped hustling years ago. That is precisely when the hustling stopped being necessary, because by then you had built the only thing that ever attracts people without effort, which is a reputation for being genuinely worth knowing. This is the sixth thing nobody tells you about networking. The sixth thing is that the highest form of networking is attraction, not pursuit, and the entire point of the climb is to reach the level where you no longer chase anyone because the right people are quietly coming to you. The person who pursues signals need, and need subtly repels, while the person who attracts signals value, and value draws people in. And the whole paradox of networking is that it works best at the exact moment you stop doing it. You did not get here by trying harder than Kevin. You got here by trying differently, by spending years becoming the kind of person other people seek out, until seeking became unnecessary and being sought became your default. You decline 2 requests and accept 1. The choosing itself is a kind of power you could not have imagined at 24, scurrying around the edge of that room. The verb at level 6 is attract. You attract, drawing the right people to you without pursuit because you have become worth pursuing. Attracting at this level means reaching the point where networking reverses, where need is replaced by value, and where the people you once chased now quietly come to you. Level 7. You are 57. You no longer have a network. You have become one. It's an evening at a gathering you did not organize but are unmistakably the center of, and you watch the room arrange itself around you the way it once arranged itself around Janet, all those years ago, when you were a stranger scurrying around the edge of it with a pocket full of cards. People want to be near you now, not for what you can give them directly, but because proximity to you is proximity to everyone you are connected to, because you have become, over a lifetime of giving and connecting and building, the human hub of an entire world, the person whose introduction can launch a career, whose endorsement carries the weight of decades, whose attention is sought because it is a doorway to everything beyond you. You are no longer in the network. You are the network. And in the corner of the room, you notice a young person, 24 or so, working the crowd with a pocket full of cards, handing them out, collecting them, calculating usefulness in the first 10 seconds, scurrying around the edge of a room they do not yet understand. You recognize them instantly, because they are you, 33 years ago, looking at you the way you once looked at Janet, seeing the center of gravity without understanding how it formed. You think about telling them the whole secret in one sentence, that the goal is not to meet everyone, but to become someone worth meeting, and you know they will not believe you, because no one at level 1 ever does. So you give them your attention for a moment, the way Janet once gave you hers, and watch them not understand what just happened. This is the 7th thing nobody tells you about networking. The 7th thing is that networking was never about meeting people. It was about becoming someone worth meeting. And the person at the very top has stopped networking entirely because they have become the thing the entire ladder was climbing toward, a person so connected and so trusted and so valuable that the network organizes itself around them. The collector at level 1 and the hub at level 7 look like they are doing the same activity, but they are doing opposite things, one trying to take from a room and the other having become the reason the room exists. The whole journey was a reversal, from taking to giving to being, and almost no one completes it, because almost no one gets past the first move, the taking, which feels so much like networking that they never suspect it is the thing keeping them stuck. You give the young networker a warm word and an introduction they did not expect. Somewhere in them, you hope, a small confusion begins, the same confusion that started in you the night you watched Janet and could not understand what you were seeing. It took you 33 years to understand it. You hope it takes them less. The verb at level 7 is become. You become the network, the hub the entire world arranges itself around, having stopped networking the moment you became worth knowing. Becoming at this level means completing the long reversal from taking to being and understanding that the goal was never to meet everyone, only to become the person everyone wants to meet. The payoff. So let's pull this together. At level 1, you take. The most common networking, built on collecting and extracting, is the kind that does not work, and most people never leave it. At level 2, you appear. Presence beats persuasion, and showing up consistently does what no introduction ever could. At level 3, you give. Givers build the strongest networks, and the whole game flips the moment you lead with value instead of need. At level 4, you connect. The highest value you can offer is connecting others, and the connector becomes the most central person in any network. At level 5, you build. The point of the giving is a reputation that networks for you, traveling into rooms you will never enter. At level 6, you attract. The highest networking is attraction, not pursuit, and it works best the moment you stop doing it. At level 7, you become. Networking was never about meeting people, it was about becoming someone worth meeting, until the network organizes itself around you. Here is the thing nobody on YouTube will tell you about networking. Most people stay at level 1 their entire lives, and they stay there for a reason that is almost poetic, which is that level 1 feels like the most networking. Handing out cards, working the room, collecting contacts, sending the connection requests, asking for the meeting. It is active and effortful and aggressive, and it produces almost nothing, and the people doing it conclude, reasonably, that networking does not work. But networking works extraordinarily well. They are simply doing the one version of it that does not, the taking version, the version every other person can feel and quietly recoil from. And the harder they work at it, the more they signal the need that repels the very people they are chasing. The entire ladder is a single reversal, from taking to giving to being. The people who escape level 1 do it by making one counterintuitive move, which is to stop asking what they can get and start giving value away for free. And that one move, repeated for years, builds everything else, the connections, the reputation, the gravity, the eventual position at the center of it all. It is slow. It produces nothing you can see for a long time. And it is the only thing that has ever actually worked, because human relationships do not respond to extraction, and they do respond, powerfully and reliably, to generosity, to consistency, and to genuine value freely given. If you are at level 1 right now, handing out cards and wondering why nothing grows, the move is not to network harder. It is to network in reverse. Stop collecting and start giving. Stop asking what people can do for you and start looking for what you can do for them. And do it without keeping score for years and watch what it builds. If you are further up the ladder, connected and sought after, remember that the entire structure rests on the giving, and that the moment you start extracting from the network you built, leveraging it, taking from it, calling in favors faster than you create value, you begin the slide back toward level 1, no matter how high you climbed. The network is a garden. It grows for the people who tend it and dies for the people who only harvest. Somewhere right now, a 24-year-old is standing at the edge of a crowded room with a pocket full of business cards, handing them out, collecting them, calculating usefulness in the first 10 seconds, and watching, without understanding, a person in the corner who has not handed out a single card and is somehow the center of everything. They do not yet know that the person in the corner is not better at networking, but is doing the opposite of what they are doing, that the cards in their pocket are worth nothing and the generosity they have not yet learned is worth everything, and that the distance between the edge of the room and the center of it is one reversal, from taking to giving, that almost no one ever makes. They think they are networking. They are doing the one version of it that does not work. The ladder has 7 levels. Most people stay at the first one, not because they do not try, but because they try at the wrong thing, and the whole secret is that the goal was never to meet everyone. It was to become someone worth meeting. If this video changed how you think about networking, hit subscribe. We have more videos like this on the channel, each one breaking down a different ladder that people spend their lives climbing, often without ever seeing the rungs. See you in the next one.